Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Skyblock News. We're going to launch right into it today with Skyblock patch notes for 0.19.6, which is the Great Spook update, but it also comes with a lot of other new features. The most notable of which is the fact that now there is Diamond Essence and Gold Essence, but we'll get into that in a minute. Starting off here with the Great Spook event, obviously, it's happening. It's an event. Basically, how it's going to work is for the next 6 days, starting from today, there is going to be a new hunt for an item. This basically has to do with random items throughout Skyblock. It's usually weird interactions with weirder items, and basically the items include, but are not limited to, things like equipment, and swords, and weaponry, and armor, and things of that nature. There's also going to be a new pet included with this update, which is called the Eerie Pet. It's a combat pet. There's not too much else we know about it, but it might just be the upgrades for the pet that are included in the hunts. What is more interesting, in my opinion, though, is this new guy, Vargul, which is a new NPC thing that's happening at the end of the hunt, in which he's going to unlock Primal Fears and Dark Candies. Players are going to be able to occasionally encounter these Primal Fears while defeating mobs. They're basically easy to defeat, but they can manifest as your Primal Fear. Basically math teachers, commitment phobia, things of that nature. It's just silly stuff that I think is pretty cool. And each Primal Fear has a unique trick for defeating it, likely related to whatever it is, so that's pretty cool. They seem to be dropping Dark Candies, which are a new item, which you can give to Vargul here, and basically you're able to progress throughout the event. There's probably going to be some more new items, and I think it's going to be really nice. As you can see, donating enough Dark Candies to Vargul will unlock various new items. They've also added 6 new spooky events in the Skyblock calendar between the 28th and 31st of October. Look inside the calendar in your Skyblock menu if you don't want to miss them. Then, moving on, we have the 2 new Essence shops, the Gold and Diamond Essence shops, but there's also some other stuff I want to go over in a minute, so let's launch in-game. Heading in-game, we can see that there's this new NPC, Gemma, who is the Diamond Essence shop NPC. Basically, the Diamond Essence shop works the same as any other Essence shop. You can find this one in the middle of the Crystal Nucleus, which now has a new room behind it. And honestly, the new buffs are really nice. Starting off, there's increased chances for Diamond Trophy Fish. There is the In-Tank class experience gain buff, which, by the way, they now have gains for every single class. There is breaking power on Diamond Pickaxes, strength on Mining Islands, getting bonus drops from the Crystal Nucleus, and increased chances of spawning Diamond Goblins, which we'll get into in a minute. There's also this new Perfectly Cut Diamond, which you can get for 1,000 Diamond Essence and 2 Refined Diamonds, which allows you to make Perfect Armor at Tier 13. We also have Marigold over here in the Royal Mines, which are underneath where, like, the mist is, pretty much. And if you speak to her, you can see there are a bunch of upgrades here as well. Healer class XP gain, the chances of getting a worm or a Scatha when mining hardstone is increased. The mining wisdom you have is increased. There's also vitality boosts here, which I think are really cool, and also some mining speed while on mining islands. Finally, there is gold trophy fish buffs here, which I think are also really awesome. I think the gold and diamond essence shops are some of the best ones that we've seen, with some of the most pertinent buffs for the player base. I really like the gold and diamond trophy fish buff. I think that one is really awesome. In order to access this shop, by the way, you need to just kill a singular golden goblin, which if you haven't by now, you frankly don't deserve access to this. Heading over to the Spider Tamer for a little bit of a different reason, if I go into the Spider Essence shop, you can see that Archer class XP is gained here. This basically works the same as every other class XP. There's also another one at the Dragon. I think that one's for Berserkers, and obviously the Ice Essence already has the Mage, so all 5 classes are represented here, which obviously makes sense. On top of this, there's also some other funny stuff that I want to get into with this update, but in terms of not funny stuff, the other big thing that I've noticed personally is that they've added a bunch of new structures to the Crystal Nucleus, or Crystal Hollows rather, and these structures are actually really pretty. There's one that kind of looks like the Canvas Room, which is in the hub if you don't already know, and there's just a bunch of new things around the Crystal Hollows. Some other big improvements or things are that basically there are diamond goblins that spawn and drop diamond essence. The golden ones drop gold essence, big shocker I know. Also, the chests around here can also drop both diamond and gold essence, which obviously makes a lot of sense. Basically, this is a pretty big improvement to the mining experience, which has received a lot of improvements to the experience over the last few months. They really want this skill to be working perfectly, and I think they're doing a pretty damn good job. I also think it's funny how they got rid of the funny little platforms between each section and the main area in the crystal nucleus. I guess they got tired of people falling. This place looks completely different. I actually like the style of the old place a little bit better. It had a little more charm to it, but I think this is fine for the time being. Heading back over to the hub in the time that it took to actually put this video together, this NPC is back, the Alchemist, and there's the new combat pet right here, the Eerie. Basically, it gives you speed, intelligence, and a perk called Fearnacy. Fear from Great Spook armor in your wardrobe applies to you even if you aren't wearing it, which I think is really cool. It takes ephemeral gratitude to get it, and basically it says that if you have a bunch of resources in your sacks, it should be very easy to do this. But obviously I don't know how to yet, and it will probably be figured out by the time this video's up, so you can just check in the comments to see how to get this done, which I think should be fairly easy to do. It seems like it's going to get harder day on day, and here are the other 5 items we just have no idea about. Heading back over to the document here, I wanted to talk a little bit more about some more niche stuff. The Mithril Golem pet has a mythic upgrade now, which you can now get from the Diamond Goblins. They also made a bunch of upgrades here to some of the Essence shops. This is, fairly normal. They also added equipment reforges. These are just basic reforges for equipment. You can bring your equipment pieces to a blacksmith or an anvil and pay some coins to roll a random basic reforge. Some of these look pretty cool. I think that the Brilliant one is not too terrible, but obviously people are going to want to use the more niche ones. They also increased the sack capacities for small and medium tier sacks, which I think is a great change. They also made whale bait a lot more effective at fishing up rare lava sea creatures, now only boosting the chances of fishing up lava flame, fire eel, Taurus, thunder, and Lord Jabus, and obviously the weights of all of these have been quadrupled to reach this effect. Also, using 8 recommed summoning eyes will now guarantee a superior dragon, which is the biggest waste of money I have ever heard of in my entire life. There's a bunch of other changes here. The only unique ones I can think of are the fact that the Fire Veil wand's particle effect is totally different, which I think looks really, really nice. MiniClune actually uploaded a video talking about this, and it looked really cool. There was also a 5-second cooldown added to the Rogue Sword, which, why? Did it need a 5-second cooldown? That seems like super, super much. Anyway, that's really about it in terms of a lot of the big and small improvements. You can read through this and look at all the bug fixes. There's quite a few here, obviously. I think this is pretty cool, pretty great update. Obviously, a lot of improvements to the event is really nice to see, and mining always gets its improvements, which I know a lot of people are really happy about. Overall, this update seems pretty decently sized, with a lot of improvements to the Great Spook event, and mining, obviously. I know people are going to be pretty happy with this stuff, so make sure you get out there and actually participate, because the Great Spook event is one of the most interesting and fun events that I think Skyblock has. On top of that, after the 6 days are up, we're going to get some really weird stuff going on in the incorporated area or the unincorporated area, so make sure you get out there, participate, and have some fun with it. At the end of the day, though, my name is Derailious. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and look to the future, fellas, because I will see you then.